The Raytheon Sentinel is an airborne battlefield and ground surveillance aircraft operated by the Royal Air Force. Based on the Bombardier Global Express ultra-long-range business jet, it was adapted by Raytheon to meet the RAF's requirements. Originally known as the ASTOR program, the aircraft is operated by a RAF squadron manned by both Air Force and Army personnel. The Sentinel is interoperable with other allied systems such as JSTARS and the NATO Alliance Ground Surveillance system. In 2010, the UK government's Strategic Defence and Security Review announced its intention to withdraw the Sentinel airborne ground surveillance aircraft once it is no longer required to support operations in Afghanistan. Sentinel has supported the British Army in Afghanistan. One Sentinel aircraft was deployed to assist French forces in Mali on January 25, 2013. The 2010 decision was reversed in 2014 by Prime Minister David Cameron. It will remain in RAF service until at least 2018. Design and development: ASTOR has its roots in the British Army's core Airborne STand-Off Radar program, which in 1984 modified a Britten-Norman Islander with a large nose radome for battlefield surveillance. Gulf War I confirmed the requirement for such an aircraft, but the end of the Cold War made funding difficult. The production contract was signed in December 1999 with a projected in-service date of 2005. The first flight of the modified prototype was in August 2001, which validated the modifications required for the ASTOR system. The first production Sentinel-1 made its 4.4-hour maiden flight on May 26, 2004. The aircraft entered operational service with V Squadron of the Royal Air Force based at RAF Waddington and flew its first operational sortie in Afghanistan in February 2009. The Sentinel-1 is a modified Bombardier Global Express powered by two Rolls-Royce BR700 turbofan engines, which would also have been used in the cancelled Nimrod MRA-4. The program involved 5 aircraft and 8 mobile ground stations, and a training facility at RAF Waddington. The program cost £850 million, as budgeted. The support contract is for 3,200 flying hours per year, and between 2015-18 the fleet of 5 aircraft will have average running costs of £54.4 million per year. The Sentinel cockpit has a centrally housed, pull-down screen capable of displaying a moving map, Link 16 data link information and defensive aids subsystem data. The DASS comprises a towed radar decoy, missile approach warning system and chaff and flare dispensers, and can be operated in automatic, semi-automatic or manual mode. The aircraft normally operates at over 40,000 feet to ensure a high-resolution view of a large battlefield area. It is crewed by a pilot, a co-pilot, an airborne mission commander and 2 image analysts. Mission endurance is approximately 9 hours. While the image analysts can analyze the images on board the aircraft, it is expected that, unlike the JSTARS, the actual battle management will occur on the ground. The main radar is an Raytheon Systems BAE Systems dual-mode synthetic aperture/moving target indication radar known as Sentinel dual-mode radar sensor. It uses AESA active electronically scanned array technology. Raytheon claim it could be modified to match the maritime surveillance capability of the cancelled Nimrod MRA-4, and the ground stations could be adapted to receive data from Watchkeeper, MQ-9 Reaper and a future scavenger program. A contract for the development of a maritime-capable software upgrade will be placed in the spring of 2015. Janes speculates that this would allow the Sentinel to detect surface vessels and potentially submarine periscopes, and that other sensors could be fitted as a low-end capability for maritime surveillance to complement a high-end platforms such as the P-8A Poseidon. Operational history: in 2010 the UK government's Strategic Defence and Security Review announced its intention to withdraw the Sentinel airborne ground surveillance aircraft once it is no longer required to support operations in Afghanistan. Sentinel has supported the British Army in Afghanistan. Its role above Libya in 2011 was described as pivotal by the head of the RAF. In February 2012 it was announced that Sentinel would be offered as the UK contribution to NATO's Alliance Ground Surveillance collaboration, complementing NATO RQ-4 Global Hawks and French Heron TPs. On January 25, 2013, the British government announced that the RAF would deploy one Sentinel aircraft from RAF Waddington, in support of French operations in Mali. On February 14, 2014, it was reported that the Sentinel was used to map the scale of flooding in southern England. On May 18, 2014, the MOD announced that a Sentinel had departed to Ghana to assist in the search for the 223 schoolgirls abducted by the Islamic militant group, Boko Haram, in Nigeria on April 14, 2014. En route to Ghana, the Sentinel was forced to divert to Senegal due to a technical issue. In 2014, Prime Minister David Cameron announced the retention of the aircraft, even after operations end in Afghanistan. Specifications, data from Royal Air Force, general characteristics, crew, 5, length, 30.3 meters, wingspan, 28.5 m, height, 8.2 m, wing area, 94.9 m2, empty weight, 24,000 kilograms, gross weight, 42,400 kilograms, power plant, TUA, Rolls-Royce BR710, 65.6 kilonewtons thrust each, performance, maximum speed, Mach 0.89, range, 9250 kilometers, endurance, 9 hours, service ceiling, 14,935 m, see also, Airborne Early Warning and Control, related development, Bombardier Global Express. Aircraft of comparable role, configuration and era, E8 JSTARS, Embraer 99B, related lists, list of aircraft of the Royal Air Force, references. Winchester, Jim. Aircraft of the RAF Part 5 Raytheon Sentinel 1. Air International, Volume 75 No. 3, September 2008 ppA 54 57. External links, Raytheon UK, ASTOR, Raytheon, ASTOR, ASTOR is born, RAF Sentinel 1/ASTOR.